All right. Hello, everybody. I'm Tom LeBlanc, Executive Director of NSCA. I'm very happy to be joined today by Ray Bailey. He's the president of Lone Star Communications, and as of July 1st, Ray, you'll be the president of the NSCA Board of Directors. Congratulations.
Thank you, Tom. Appreciate that.
Really excited to work with you. And it's interesting because I've worked with you since I've been at NSCA and even before then because I associated you with NSCA for years. You're somebody who your company has spent a lot of time working with NSCA. It seems like NSCA has been an important organization for you and for Lone Star. Can you talk about why that is?
Tom, it's funny. Well, let me back up and say that NSCA became important to my business from the day I started it, and the reason is I was associated with NSCA through a previous employment, a real early member, Audio Communications in Alaska, and then when I went to work for Rollin sent us to the expo, which was the NSCA.
The trade show.
The trade show. Thank you. Yeah, the trade show, and they did a lot of training and stuff like that, and so that's where I knew him from. So when I started the business, the first thing I did was call NSCA, and I found out about when the next expo was and what training classes they had available and where they were training and so forth, because that obviously was very important to a brand new business. Of course, today you would just look on the internet and find it on their website, right? But in 1991, there was no internet, so it was a phone call, and I got to talking to I don't even remember who it was now, but they told me about all the benefits in the Essentials Library, and the Essentials Library, which I didn't know about at that time, had all of these forms and things like that that people had submitted, the way that they did things, the way they tracked jobs, the way they, and again, this is real early computer days, so some of this stuff is manual, typed on a typewriter, and it just became so invaluable to me and Lone Star and starting up, and so that's what got me associated with NSCA, and that's where my love for the association came from. Is it really was those early days of Lone Star.
Yeah, and we still do that. We still have the Essentials Library, and it's still a big part of our offerings. And I actually wish more NSCA members knew to take advantage of that like you did. So Ray, at some point you made a transition to being somebody who was starting to get involved with NSCA to somebody who dedicated a lot of your time to volunteering with NSCA. You've been on the board for years and now you're the president. Why is it important to you to give your valuable time and work with NSCA?
It's because I think you get as much out of it as you ever give, and in some cases much more. And the first time I was ever associated with NSCA, I was invited on the Industry Advisory Council back in 2003, and sat in the room with a couple dozen people from all over the United States talking about the industry, and that it took me by surprise. First of all, how diverse the industry was, because I was kind of pigeonholed in schools and hospitals and correctional facilities and things like that, and I just didn't know about some of the other things that went on with our members. That was a real eye opener to me. But I learned a lot. I also learned about how to expand my business into some of those markets, which became very good for me. But then I also really met some very influential, they later became influential people on that board and on later boards, and had people that I could share with and talk to about the industry and running the business. And what is your advice on how to do this, or what is your advice on how to do this? And these folks were just open and willing to share everything. And so that's the way I have become over the years, and that is I'm open and willing to share anything about the business and how we run the business. And we've actually put a lot in the Essentials Library as a result of that. As we become better, we're able to share back. And I just really feel that the value that you get from the association and those conversations of talking to the people at the BLC and places like that are just truly extremely valuable to business and help you make decisions that otherwise you wouldn't have any good input on.
Yeah, no, I think it's really interesting, and I agree. I think you get out of it what you put in, and vice versa. Um, Ray, usually when an NSCA president is about to take office, we usually talk to them a little bit about, what are some of your priorities going to be? What kind of an impact do you want to make? And from previous conversations with you, it sounds like you're very focused on things like education and workforce development. Do you want to talk a little bit about why that is?
Yeah, there's two things that are very important to me. One is the next generation of leaders in our industry. I think that's extremely important. We have a new initiative on that, and I think it's important that not only at the BLC and places like that, we educate all of our leaders, all of our presidents and our vice presidents and so forth. But we really don't have any place where we educate the next level of leadership, either the upcoming leadership or the mid-level managers. And so that's what I think is very important to the industry, is that we have that opportunity, and that those of us that have the experience could share what we have learned over the years on how to bring those people through the organizations. The other thing that I think is very obvious, very important, and that is bringing the younger generation into our business. At Lone Star, we've got about 300 employees now, and I think there's about 20 of them that have started directly out of high school, come into the organization, and worked their way into a nice career. Some of them have been here 15, 20 years now, and are middle managers or upper level managers themselves. And I think it's great. I think everybody should go to college if they have that ability. I didn't, but you can still make a good living and have a good career in this industry even without that. And I think that we offer, in our industry, I think we offer a lot of opportunity to kids that just don't want to go to college or can't go to college. And I really think that the Ignite initiative is perfect to bring those kids, let them know what kind of industry we are, let them know what kind of businesses we do, and then see if it's something that they'd be interested in. And so we're going to have 4 interns here at Lone Star next year, or this summer, just so that we can share with the industry. And then we want to take it even farther than that, perhaps get associated with a college. But I really believe in the Ignite initiative that we're doing through the foundation.
That's great. I couldn't agree more. So, Ray, on behalf of the whole NSCA staff, we're really excited to work with you over the next couple of years with you, or the next year with you as president. And we think we have a fantastic board of directors that, does a great job of A, volunteering their time, and B, making an effort to understand what the industry needs and thinking logically about how NSCA can provide resources that can maybe make a positive impact on those companies. And you're somebody who's always worked closely and great with the NSCA team and the board, and we're so excited that you're president now. Congratulations.
Well, thank you, Tom. I appreciate that. And I've been on the board now since 2004, so I've been through a lot of board and a lot of board members, and every one of the board members have added something to the group. There's no question about it. But I would say the group of board members we have today are probably the most engaged group of individuals I've ever worked with, and we really, I say individuals, but we really are a really good team together.
Couldn't agree more. Thanks, Ray.